All right, boys and girls, good morning and welcome to NFL Pregame Party for Week 14. The college football scouting report is going to be a little late today. We only had one game, but it is a famous game, the one between the two most prominent academies, Army versus Navy. It's an annual event that the whole country gets to watch without interruption because there's no other college football that weekend. And also, we've got some great matchups in the NFL this week for Week 14. And just a couple of them shown here, but the big one is actually going to be in prime time tonight. We get to watch the two guys from the same draft go at it, Tagovailoa and Herbert, going toe-to-toe tonight. We'll talk about that and more this week on NFL Pregame Party. All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard for Week 14 of NFL Pregame Party. I am your host, Joe's Atmosphere, and as usual, I have my deep roster at quarterback. I've got Noc. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Pretty good.
How's your week going? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Another week.
Another week and more done. Okay, and then his backup, Matt from Small Time Republic. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Just call me Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy?
Oh man.
Why
Mr. Irrelevant.
I'm the backup
Is that Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah. The Niners. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is that who's playing for them right now?
He's third string, yeah. But he's
I saw the graph, and it was a picture of him and Brady, and it showed him Purdy at 22 years old and Brady in 23rd season in the NFL. So Brady has been in the league longer than this guy's been alive.
We're going to get to the Brady subject whenever we get to the NFL portion. I want to talk about that because there's a lot of speculation about what he's going to do in the offseason, and I really think the Niners are going to play into that, believe it or not. I really do, especially poor Garofalo, man. Look, Matt, as soon as that happened the other day, Noc texted me. He was like, damn.
Basically, if you're a 49ers skill position player, you will get hurt.
Yes.
It's just win. Yeah.
It's the nature of the way they play football, man. It's ridiculous. Yep. They are a smash mouth football team. They just are. They're a throwback. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we had the perennial game yesterday, the one that happens every year, Army versus Navy. And of course, I have a stake in this. I am an ex-military policeman for the United States Army from 1983 to 1986. So you know who I'm pulling for in this game every year. And Noc, let me know what happened because I was busy working, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah, so I have it paused up to when it's in overtime, but pretty much during the game, what had happened was Navy went up by 3, and then on a punt, Army blocked it and got it back and inside the end zone, barely. Almost tipped it out themselves out of the back of the end zone, but Army managed to grab it before it went out, so they went up 7-3. And then I think it's either the next drive or drive after that Navy got a 77-yard run for a touchdown. They go up 10-7. And then late in the fourth quarter, Army tied it up to make it 10-10, and then they went into overtime. and each team did one play.
Yeah, this is after struggling throughout regulation to do anything.
Yeah, right.
To do anything.
No offense whatsoever.
No offense whatsoever, and boom, right?
Yep. First play.
Wow.
First play, touchdown. And then because the Army was all excited. They do those boosts. But and Air Force, I believe they've completed, was it 4 or 5 passes on the season?
That quarterback, the quarterback for Navy, I believe, had 4 completions coming into either the game or
for the entire season,
something like that. So these are both run games. These are both run teams. So they do nothing but
right.
run.
What are they now? I mean, these academies usually run some old type of option, like a wishbone or something like that. That's what they usually run. I don't know what they're running these days, but they're run heavy offenses. Yeah,
I can't tell what you're doing right now, so I can't tell if you played it or not.
What's that?
Did you play that touchdown I just showed? Or
no.
I have to full screen it, so I can't.
The one you showed before that. Yeah, you ready for another one?
We saw the Army one.
Yeah, we saw the Army one.
Right.
Okay.
So this is the Air Force, or excuse me, Navy.
Okay.
Wide open.
Oh wow! Yep. So this guy hadn't completed but 4 passes all year, and then he throws one in overtime.
Yeah, Army wasn't ready for it. I'm trying to pause it. There you go.
Navy wearing the NASA themed uniforms, which I thought was cool.
Let me know when you're ready for the last one, and I'll put it up.
Let me see.
I'm trying. You know what I'm doing. I'm trying to break up the stuff so we don't get gigged. Yeah,
I'm back on one screen, so when I full screen it, I can't see nothing else that's going on in the background.
I know, brother. I know. That's why I told you. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Okay.
I got it. Sorry, folks. All right, I'm good.
Good. He's in the middle of making a move, so he's
I'm down to just one screen right now. I don't have my second screen, but
we can barely see Noc with the camo.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to match the Army here, but no.
He'd blend in more with a safety vest right now. Are you kidding me?
This is right here. This is the play of the game right here. So of course, Navy having played on defense first, they go on offense in second overtime, and then this was the play of the game. Ball's out. Fumble.
Uh-oh.
On the goal line.
Oh no.
Huge
That's not good. Army knocked it loose. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes.
So
the Golden Knights, baby. Look out.
Yeah, just before he got punched out. So that was the end of that game. And Army just had to do a field goal, and they managed to get it. Now Army was having a lot of fun during that game. Getting into field goal range and then getting penalties to get them out of it.
You're kidding me.
And I think they got a penalty on this overtime.
You got to love academy football, don't you? I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, ball starts or holdings or blocks in the back and all kinds. There was a huge Army run that happened that it got called back because of a block in the back. So penalties killed them pretty much this whole game. But in overtime, they got the big fumble, and then they just had an easy field goal to do and win it, and they did. They got the field goal, and Army wins.
There you go, the Golden Knights, baby, the Golden Knights. Yes, yeah. I love watching that game for the pomp and circumstance beforehand, all the traditions between the academies and stuff. It's really cool.
Now, at one point, Army decided that their official name is like Army West Point. Not just the Army Black Knights, but like the Army West Point Black Knights. I'm like, most people know it's in
Black
West Point.
Knights is fine. Come on, guys. We know you're going to West Point, okay? Yeah. We understand that. We get it. Yeah.
It's like you don't see Navy being like, we're Navy Annapolis.
Right. We're Navy Annapolis. That's just, come on. We know where the academy's at, okay?
And
we know the name of it.
I did have to correct you a little bit there prior, because I like to do that. But there actually were other college games this weekend.
Oh, were they? Okay.
They weren't FBS. They were FCS. They have their tournament going on right now. Okay. It's the quarterfinals.
Okay. Lower
nothing
tier?
Too exciting. Yeah. Nothing too good. Yeah. Division II stuff. 3 of them were blowouts. But
do you
one
need
of
the
them,
screen?
No. Because there's nothing to show from those really. But I might show the last championship one. But I think that's January 8th. No, the 3 of them were blowouts. But the 4th one was actually a 66-63 I believe it was the highest scoring playoff game for them.
And who was it?
The two teams. I don't recognize their name.
It was I believe it was Incarnate Word and Sacramento State.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was I watched the highlights for that just because there was a lot of scoring. So it was entertaining.
Of the 4 games that I watched, that was the one that I watched none of those 4 games. Yeah.
I watched
the
part of
highest scoring game you didn't see.
Yeah, well, one of the games was at 7:00 on Friday night, which I watched a little bit of, and that was a blowout. And then there was 2 of them were after 10 p.m. Eastern, so I don't watch those kind of games. And then the 4th one was at noon on Saturday, so I watched that one a little bit before. That was the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I think it is, versus somebody. I like their mascot, and the South Dakota won, so that was pretty cool. I think they've been in it pretty much every year, so they're a good team.
The Jackrabbits.
Yeah, the Jackrabbit. They have the field. They have the field, and I saw at their field they have like one of the buildings has the huge Jackrabbit on the side of it. It was pretty cool.
Listen up, EA Sports. You need to fix it to where we can make our own teams on that game again. I've been playing the old Madness where you can actually, name the team, make the fields and everything, and it's a whole lot more fun.
It'd be really cool is if you actually could start out as like an FCS team.
Yeah.
And then build your way up,
and then build the program to where you get to the NCAA, right? Yeah,
transition to FBS.
Yeah,
I think that'd be super cool.
My favorite video game of all time was NCAA 2004, which would have come out in 2003.
I just rebought that. That's the one with Carson Palmer on the cover, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I love that game.
Hell yeah!
With that game, you can play as FCS teams.
Okay.
So
yeah, they got them on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You sure
can.
Yeah,
it's really curious because they have the next one coming out next year, and I'm really curious. I think it's coming out at a good time. I'm wondering if they'll do the 12-player or the 12-team playoffs in that one, even though it won't be implemented until the next year, until 2024, 2025 season. So it's gonna be kind of curious what they do with that one.
Yeah, because the number is gonna be for the next year. So I don't know. Who knows? All I know is they need to go back to the one he's talking about. I'm telling you, Matt, I just rebought it this week.
And you can do recruiting on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I dig about is when you look at the schedule, it shows the ones that are televised and the ones that aren't, and the presentation's totally different.
You can change your non-conference games.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can change.
I remember being able to do that in the older ones too, the 13 and 14, being able to change.
And it's got cheerleaders on it.
Yep.
The fuck is your problem, video games that took the cheerleaders out?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I want to see the square boobs. No, I'm kidding.
I do want to see the square boobs. Thank you. What can I say? I just
the other thing I wanted to mention for college was go down. I don't want to go down the full list. I'll showcase them. Mm-hmm. But if you want to put me back up there, probably I'll just kind of gloss over some of the bigger ones. Mm-hmm. So it actually starts on December 16th is when they start.
Yeah, bowl season starts mid-December. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So just kind of going to scroll down here, and people can pause it as needed if they're watching this. But there's couple interesting ones that I want to point out. Mm-hmm. This one's right here, Cincinnati and Louisville. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, Louisville's coach went to Cincinnati.
Yes.
And I think he's coaching Cincinnati in this one. I'm not sure.
That'll be interesting.
No, I don't think he would. I think that might be unethical to do that.
Okay, I wasn't sure how that works, but Louisville coach went to Cincinnati
because he would know all the other teams' signals and
Right.
So that game's going to be interesting. Let's see.
Did they decide who's in the Independence Bowl?
I don't know. I didn't see anything about that yet. I know Army wasn't immediately qualified because of the fact that they'd beaten 2 FCS teams to get to 6-6.
Okay.
And the rules are you can only beat 1. So I think they would have had to get a waiver, but I haven't looked that up to see if they had gotten into the independent.
And it's not on this list.
Okay. If it is, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
This one might be pretty good. Washington State and Fresno State. Fresno State, the winner of the Mountain, but Washington State had a pretty good season. So Jimmy Kimmey LA Bowl.
Yeah, that game.
That game.
What happened to that?
Wait! It's named after Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, I don't know why this.
Oh, good lord!
They couldn't figure out what the name.
Something tells me it's ABC that's paying the bills.
Hello, that's a Disney Bowl.
ABC and ESPN app. Yeah. So ABC.
Hello.
Yeah. By the way, real quick before you keep scrolling. I potentially will be at the Lending Tree Bowl.
Oh, okay. That's Rice and Southern Miss.
All right. Cool.
Rice had a
It's
pretty
actually,
good
and it's
season,
actually only a couple miles from where I work.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Mobile, Alabama.
Yep. It's
Mobile,
Yeah,
my friend. I know it's
America,
spelled mobile. Yes. You sound like a national broadcaster right there. Yes, you did.
1703. Yep.
For me, it's going to be the Frisco Bowl because North Texas and Boise State. So
Yep,
North Texas had a pretty good season. They were number 2 in their conference, so they had a pretty good. But they lost in their.
Oh, you didn't even make a bowl, did they?
Who's that?
OU.
Ohio University. No, I'm kidding.
No.
they did.
There's only one OU, bro.
Yeah, I believe they're down here on the list.
Dissing my boys like that. I know they had a bad season, but don't.
Here's your Raging Cajun. They're going against a really good Houston team. So they might get their butts kicked a little bit here. But this is the Independence Bowl, though.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of
Army
Oklahoma,
didn't make it. The Raging Cajuns are coming up here. All right. Kick ass.
By the way, speaking of
I have to get a ticket for that.
Speaking of Oklahoma, I think there was an Oklahoma or a former Oklahoma quarterback that won a certain award last night.
No
Caleb
way.
Caleb Williams with the Heisman Trophy.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. Won it.
Playing for USC, he wins the fucking.
He laughed because he was the only one, not only finalist, not going to be in a playoff game.
There really was not a runaway, this guy should
really
win
wasn't.
it this year type player like there have been some years. In fact, I think three of the 4 finalists I think have lost their last game. The most recent game they played.
There you go.
Wow.
I don't know how they swung
Cheez It Bowl. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cheez It
Florida
Bowl.
State.
Oh, that's gonna
We might win that one.
Are you kidding me? Florida State has been
not kidding.
Completely dominant this
the
season.
last time we won a championship, we shut that team down like they didn't even exist.
I don't know.
Of course, that was before the turn of the century. So
yeah, Florida State should be in the playoffs the way they've been playing.
Well, they have since beginning of October. Yeah, they've really
they turned it up big time. So that I guess for you that'd be an interesting one to watch. And then the Valero Alamo Bowl, Texas and Washington. This might be a really good one.
Yeah,
but it's a little late, so I don't know if I get to watch the whole thing because it's on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Like, I hate West Coast time stuff.
Sorry, buddy.
So I don't know if I'll get to watch. I really wanted to watch this game, but it's gonna be too late. I ain't gonna stay up for that.
So just DVR it, man.
A lot of times the Alamo Bowl is one of the more entertaining bowl games. They get some good matchups a lot.
They do a lot.
This one might be entertaining. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl with Notre Dame and South Carolina. The way South Carolina.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if the Gamecocks beat the shit out of Notre Dame. It's gonna be funny as hell, man.
It's gonna be interesting. Yeah. No idea. What South Carolina are we getting? Are we getting the good one or are we getting the bad one? So it's
right. Depends on which one shows up.
When Lou Holtz was at South Carolina, they beat Notre Dame twice, and it may have even been back-to-back years.
Yeah.
In bowl games.
Well, he wasn't going to lose to that team, right? I mean, shoot.
Now, this one's going to be interesting. The actual real Orange Bowl, Tennessee versus Clemson.
Wow.
Yeah,
the Orange Bowl, and both teams are super orange.
Yeah, this is the Capital One Super Orange Bowl. So this one could be really entertaining. And we're going to see now the ukulele for Clemson has entered the transfer portal, so he won't be playing in this game. He'll be going to a different school next year for Clemson. And the little freshman, I think it is, that they have there, Clint, something like that. So he'll be playing. So Clemson's ready for next year. Kind of deal. So here's another good one. All-State Sugar Bowl. Alabama and Kansas State. Kansas State coming off their win on TCU. Not sure how many defensive players are going to be playing for Alabama. Since
that's the thing with these guys, half of them going in the draft and stuff. You don't even know who's going to be on the roster for these teams.
That is for sure.
I mean, if they were in the playoff, we'd know everybody be playing, but they're not in the playoff and they're in a bowl game.
And I can't really think of a good, effective way to penalize people sitting up bowl games.
There isn't.
I think that's one of the reasons why they wanted to do the playoffs is so that they're more prevalent and more students would stay in if they're in the top 12 kind of deal. I think that was a way to try to keep him. But even then, you still have like we discussed it before we started that Ohio, one of their wide receivers, is not going to be in the playoffs. But I also think he's a little bit banged up too, if I'm not mistaken. So that may have been another reason why he didn't want to test it.
Well, they do have to protect themselves. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're going into the draft, they got to be ready to play when they get there, or it's really going to hurt them. So I can understand it, but it sucks for the fan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It does. Yeah. It lessens the enthusiasm for what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
What else you got? Anything else?
Yeah.
I see the Nittany Lions and the Utes.
Yeah. Well, you're going ahead of me, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I thought you'd be interested in this one. USC and Tulane.
Oh, I see. It's the Green
Cotton
Wave.
Bowl.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna see the way can the Green Wave take out the other guys.
All the Louisiana teams are making
USC,
bowls.
so,
I haven't seen LA Tech in there though. Damn it, Bulldogs didn't make one. It doesn't look like.
Let's see, but so that I'm really interested to see this one, and it looks like it's going to be at 1 p.m. So we have to actually watch it.
Is Tulane still undefeated?
No, they have 2 losses. They lost to I believe it was Cincinnati, and I think one other one. I think it was
UCF regular season.
Or UCF.
Okay. All right.
But, then the Rose Bowl, Utah and Penn State. So that's going to be a pretty decent one.
Is the playoff set?
Yeah, playoffs are set. They were at the top, so I kind of skipped them for the time being. But,
that's fine.
Saturday, December 31st, you got the semifinals.
New Year's Eve.
Michigan at TCU, or versus TCU, and Georgia versus Ohio State. Fiesta Bowl and the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Yep.
Poor Ohio State. They got beat by Michigan, and then they're going to get the hell beat out of them by Georgia.
Yeah, we'll see. They had
I hate it for them.
Offense, and
actually, I don't. I'm being sarcastic. I love to watch Ohio State get the crap kicked out of them. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think Georgia's pretty much the clear-cut number one in this playoffs, but who knows? Michigan have been scrappy. TCU or the
I want to see TCU. I want to see TCU win the national championship. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm always for. They're pretty much the underdog in this one.
Yeah, but Georgia should win it. I mean, they've been dominant all year, man.
They've been sketchy at times. So I don't know. They've looked a little vulnerable against not so good teams. So
they're not going to look vulnerable against
Ohio
State.
Yeah. So
okay, they're not.
So yeah, that's pretty much college right now. Not too much going on this week, especially because this is just the time of this is the
downtime. We're preparing for the bowl games. Yes.
Yeah. The kids have to take their finals and for the semester and all that kind of stuff.
Wrapping up the semester. Yeah. But that's okay because we got the NFL. Thank you for that report, sir.
Yeah.
And we will now get into week 14 of the NFL. Looking forward to me and Foxy are looking forward to that one you see on the bottom tonight. The two guys from that draft a few years ago, Tagovailoa versus Herbert. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to watch that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. I know you big Miami fan tonight. I know you don't like the Chargers at all. Noc, I know that. So
I was very grateful that they flexed that one in over the Chiefs and Broncos.
Yeah, it was supposed to be your boys and the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to stay up tonight to see them get destroyed. So,
we're going to start. I have to put a smile on my face because we're about to talk about an Oklahoma Sooner, my friend. We're going to start with Thursday night's game.
Wow. How about that?
It looked bad for a while there.
Hang on before we even talk about it. I'm going to set it up for you with a video that I shot earlier this week. And all my fans out there, if you haven't seen it yet, you need to go watch this video because I had to shoot a video after this happened. But I'm going to set up the situation that we saw on Thursday night. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let me get this thing up here. Bing, bang, bang, and boom. This is the video I shot, and this is just to set up what we watched on Thursday night. It was a game that really I didn't watch half of it. That's how bad the matchup was. You had the Raiders, which run by Josh McDaniels, the notorious franchise destroyer, and I don't think Raiders coach for very long. And then you got the Rams, who are just decimated. They were my preseason pick to go back to the Super Bowl. But they have been decimated with injuries. I don't even know who's playing for this team now. And they picked up off the waiver wire the guy that was demoted to the lowest echelon of the quarterback room in Carolina, a team that's not doing anything this year. Baker Mayfield. He was dropped down to the bottom of their roster after a subpar performance at the beginning of the season, and where he was replaced. They were starting people. Sam Darnold starting over him. That you've gotten to the bottom of the barrel when this happens. And this is a guy that was the franchise quarterback in Cleveland. He was the first overall pick. I mean, a lot of people say it was because of his arrogance, whatever. All I know is I am biased. I'm an Oklahoma Sooners fan. I've been watching him his whole career, and that guy's a gamer. He's a winner. He wants to win, and he fights and scraps for everything he gets. So that was the situation. Now, when the game started, they started Wolford, and they wanted to see if he was going to make it because apparently he has neck problems, I think, something like that. And so I think he went like the first drive and they pulled him and they put in Baker. He was ineffective. They didn't think they could do anything with him. And meantime, the Raiders
field, and the coverage is good. Does he one hand?
Let me restart this. The Raiders were doing what they're supposed to do. They were moving the ball. They were playing well. This highlight right here I had to show because it just shows what Mr. Rogers' neighborhood has been missing all year long. This catch by
it's up on the right side. And on third and 5, going deep downfield, and the coverage is good. Does he one-handed flat? He's in. There's Adams. It's up on the right side. And
that's crazy. Did you see that? Yep. He caught it one-handed, and he had a guy draped on him. It's ridiculous, man.
Jalen Ramsey draped on him.
Yeah, Jalen, not a chump. That's Jalen Ramsey. He's one of the best corners in the league.
Now, to be fair, Adams didn't have that great a game.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, they were going away from him. I don't know why that was. It was really weird. They weren't throwing him to him that much. But
Baker had to ask for directions.
Like 38 times.
Yeah, right.
Number one run defense, and
so
they didn't have Donald, but they were still good.
By the time I got to watching the game, hang on 1 second. Damn this thing! It keeps putting the damn sound up. I don't want it to do sound. But anyway, Baker had a decent drive going when he first come out there, and what's that running back's name? Number 3, Caleb, huh?
Cam Akers.
That's it. Cam Akers. He fumbles the ball, fucks it up. Anyway, we get to the fourth quarter, and they're down 13 points, and all of a sudden, it turns into the Baker Mayfield show. The last 10 minutes of the damn game, they couldn't stop him for nothing, and to their credit, the friggin' decimated defense of course, Bobby Wagner's still there, but Aaron Donald didn't play in this game, if you remember, guys, and they forced a 3-and-out right at the 2-minute warning.
Yep.
The Raiders couldn't get a first down to end the game, and Baker and okay, I should have pulled up more highlights. Folks, at the 2-minute warning, they punt the ball and run 15 seconds off the clock because it rolls all the way down to the 2-yard line. The Raiders don't even touch the ball. And they're on the field doing the gritty like they're going to win, right? They're partying. 98 yards to go, 1:45 seconds left. And it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. They sack Baker Mayfield. The game's over at that point.
Yeah.
And the idiot playing for the friggin' Raiders, number 90, bats the ball out of his hand when he's trying to give it back to the ref. and he gets called for a personal foul.
Mm-hmm.
It was bizarre, the shit I was watching. And now, let's be fair about this. Whoever the defensive coordinator is for the Raiders, he's an idiot. Okay? He's a complete idiot. They got 10 seconds left, right? Or no, what? Before the ball was snapped, it was like, 18 seconds left, right? And this is what happened. Because they decided to go man coverage. And Baker's not an idiot. He saw the friggin' safety drift towards the middle of the field, and he just let it go, man. This is just what happened with friggin' 15 seconds to go.
2nd and 10. Mayfield to the end zone to Jefferson. Is that possible? Touchdown.
Unbelievable. This guy got there on Tuesday. He's had a walkthrough with the offense. A walkthrough. That's it.
Last Sunday, I said I'm not a believer in the guy, but he came out and he won the game.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about Baker, man. He made it happen. He did. So, more
2nd
power
and
to
10.
him, dude.
Mayfield.
Let me get this thing off of here real quick so I can quit having that thing interrupt. But the final score ended up being 17-16. And the Vegas Raiders have now lost to a coach whose most recent game was a high school game he coached in a loss.
His only coaching. Yeah.
His only coaching, right?
Yeah.
And they've lost to a guy that was flushed, basically, by another franchise and put on the waiver wire, right? The Raiders are bad, dude. If Josh McDaniels is still their coach next year, I'm going to laugh my ass off. I really am.
I don't know if you guys saw this.
Okay.
I saw this floating around. NFL script writers must have been taking holiday vacation and reusing material the past 2 games.
Yes, reusing material. I did see that one.
Only I boring as shit. 13-3 games and 2 touchdowns to end the game for both Tampa Bay and the Saints and Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I saw that one floating around. That was really funny.
You mentioned Bobby Wagner earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
sorry. Hang on. He pulled it off, and I was trying to pull it out myself, and you got interrupted. Go ahead.
That's okay. So you mentioned Bobby Wagner a little earlier. I didn't even read the article, but I saw the headline of the article from a couple of days ago that said Bobby Wagner will not be charged for tackling protesters that ran on the field when they played the Giants, or not when they played the 49ers.
He better not be.
I think it was one of those where the guy was talking about suing or something.
Yeah.
Well, when you cross that line as a fan, you're fair game.
You're on your own, bro. You are taking your life into your own hands. Everybody on that field's got padding on.
Yep.
Or they've got stripes on, and everybody knows the rules. You're not supposed to hit those guys. Okay? You ain't got no stripes on. You're going to get lit up. I don't give a shit who you are.
And you should.
And you should. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They don't know if you're carrying a knife. They don't know if you got a gun. They don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it when he did that. Wasn't that the Niners game? I think that was the Niners game.
Niners, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And it was probably in San Francisco because that's where Berkeley's at. And there's probably some idiot from Berkeley.
Yeah. Well, and I can remember when Bobby Wagner he played for Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 1 week where Auburn played them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And Utah State almost beat them. And this guy named Bobby Wagner kept making tackles left and right. I'm like, who is this guy playing for Utah State? Well, turns out he's become an NFL
Turns
great.
out he is arguably the best linebacker of the last 15 years. Okay. It's either him or Kuechly. I mean, as far as the last 15 years, I mean,
he kind of took the baton from Ray Lewis.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, man. But, he wasn't known as a big hitter, but a better tackler you'll never see. That guy I can't say it. Don't get me started. I'll be talking about Bobby Wagner forever. I think he's more of an MVP for that team than anybody else on their run for the Super Bowl and all that good stuff.
I want to make a call back to one other thing earlier when we were talking about those different FCS teams that won.
Right.
One of them that played late Friday night was Montana State.
Mm-hmm.
So there they are playing 11, I don't know, maybe third quarter, fourth quarter. It's 11 at night out there, Bozeman, Montana. You got guys with their shirts off in the stands. It's probably 15 degrees.
Yeah,
it feels like 3.
Yes.
These guys are just running around. I'm like, yeah,
you're crazy.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
Better you than me.
They're a different breed.
Stop selling beer in the stadium. Stop it. You're putting people in danger.
Yep.
Hypothermia is bad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to step out for 5-10 minutes, but I will be back.
Okay, brother. Okay. So we that right there, my gosh, man. I was just happy for the guy. I just happy for him because, I don't know what's happening with him. Well, I can tell you this. His last year in Cleveland, he sold out for that franchise and they flushed him because he was injured the whole damn year and he played through it.
Well, when I saw the score was 16-3 in the fourth quarter, I was like, well, this is done.
Right? It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way this guy that just showed up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I turned it back on in the fourth quarter. Me and my wife actually watched a television show. I gave up on it when Cam Akers fumbled the ball on that drive. I was like, oh God,
Well, between you had Darrell Henderson the running back get hurt, Allen Robinson get hurt, Cooper Kupp get hurt, Matthew Stafford.
They're the walking wounded.
Cam Akers is a head case.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
Yeah. Look, everybody in my pick 'em pool picked Vegas because they're basically playing the third string lineup of the fucking Rams, And wow, I couldn't be more happier for the guy. I really couldn't. Just so happy for Baker. And I hope this whole experience of spiraling downward and then being, because he did the same thing. If you remember in his NFL debut, the Cleveland fans were chanting his name walking through the streets of Cleveland, leaving that stadium.
Yeah.
Because he came off the bench when who was that? Tyrod Taylor went down. They started him that year to give Baker time to acclimate. And he went down in that game, and Baker came off the bench and won for him. Came back from behind and won for him. So, I hope this whole experience has humbled him enough to where, maybe he can make something of his career now,
Right.
I don't know what was going on in Carolina, but it obviously wasn't just him because they fired the head coach. So something was going on there.
Well, and their head coach, he belongs in college. Matt Rule does. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, for sure. So, but I had to, I'm sorry. I love the guy. Ever since he planted his flag in Ohio State, man, you know what I'm saying? Look, everything you need to know about Baker Mayfield, I think it was Kansas State they were playing. And he went to shake hands with a guy at midfield at the coin toss, and the guy slapped his hand out from in front of him. And he said, "Oh yeah, it's like that, huh?" And every time he threw a touchdown pass in that game, he was like grabbing his nuts and looking at the guy on the other sideline. And they were showing him on television going, "Baker, calm down. You need to," he was woofing at that guy the whole game, man. That was great. But
he's
I love that
competitive guy.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Okay. Let's get into this week's matchups, boys and girls. First one we got is, now correct me if I'm wrong, the Jets beat them the first time. I think this is one of the teams that beat Buffalo.
Possibly.
I'll have to look back and see. Let me check on my phone, but we got the Jets going into Buffalo. I don't think, this is not to say I think they're going to do it again, but I think this is one of the failures of this year's version of the Buffalo Bills was against the Jets the first time. I will check it real quick. But we know that
you're right.
Yeah, I thought so.
2017.
Yep. Of course, there was smoke and mirrors, and I think Wilson was playing. It's probably the last time he's going to have a win in the league because we know the white regime has started over here with New York. He's playing too well, and he's doing what the coaches want him to do, apparently. I think that was the word, right? We were hearing.
Yep. the Jets coach must be good. Just to have him at 7-5, he must be a good coach.
I liked him. Look, I hate San Francisco. They're a division rival, but I do like him as a coach.
When he ran their
he
defense,
was their defensive coordinator. He's the one that made their defense as tough as it is. And he's a good coach. And a lot like Belichick, if you're winning, you're not going to see the bench, So that's why White's playing now. So and I don't know how dinged up Buffalo is. We know their quarterback is dinged up, but not badly. I think he's playing, right?
I believe he is playing.
I'm pretty sure he's playing. Josh Allen. I got to go with Buffalo in this one because they're the home team and because they are better than the Jets. But, it's a division game. Anything can happen, man. If they play defense like they did in the last matchup, because I believe that's the game where he threw 2 picks in the red zone. Down the stretch of that game, trying to come back.
I want to say he didn't play well that game.
Yeah, he didn't. So we'll see. I think it's hard to beat a team twice in one season, but it is a different quarterback this time. So who knows? But I have to go with the home team in this one.
And it's important for the Bills to win this game.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. They have to stay. Let's see. They're chasing Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Or are they number one now?
And I was thinking about divisional as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Kansas City is ahead of them. Yep.
Let's take a look real quick. Let me see. Actually doing this on screen and I shouldn't be, but that's okay. Let me see. Standings. They're 9-3. Chiefs 9-3.
Oh, okay. I was mistaken. I was thinking maybe the Chiefs
conference
maybe a
standings.
Yep.
They actually are up on them, and I guess that's got to be conference record. Yeah, they're 6-2. Chiefs are 5-3. Have they played head to head this year? I don't remember.
If they have, I do not recall.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going with Buffalo in that game, though.
Yep.
All right. So the next one we've got is the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. And you'll have to excuse the video.
Toilet bed slip is empty. I gotta call KG.
KG, what
Hush. Stupid ass ads. We've got Cleveland versus Cincinnati. Now, did I hear correctly on the television earlier today that Cleveland has beaten them like 4 times in a row?
Potentially. Yeah. I'm not sure. I know that's
that sounds crazy.
A long way. Yeah.
But Cleveland does have a good defense, so I guess that's not as surprising as it sounds.
Basically, got the Paul Brown Bowl here.
Yes, absolutely. The Orange Bowl outside of college. Right. That must have been Paul Brown's favorite color is orange, man, because both of them had orange all over them. But the Bengals are coming off a win against the team they just are not scared of, the Chiefs. They beat them last week. Again, for like the 3rd time in a row. So, yeah, Deshaun Watson going into Cincinnati, that crowd is going to be ugly to him when he gets on the field. No doubt about it. They're going to be ugly as hell to him.
And he struggled last week against the Texans.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's got some serious rust, and I'm sure he's got some serious mental problems with the kind of adversity he's going to be faced with. I got to take the Bengals in this one. I think they are a game out for the conference, and they're going to try and win out. And
I agree.
Try and jump over these guys. Like I said, my preseason pick for the Super Bowl was the Rams and the Bengals, and half of it is looking okay. They're only a game out now. They have bounced back. The only one you missed, Noc, was the Buffalo Jets game, and even though the Jets won the last time, we both feel like it's going to be Buffalo.
I think Buffalo too. Mike White has been Good for the Jets.
Yes, he's been good for them, but it's hard to beat a
Still the
team
Bills.
twice in one season. So, and they're playing at Buffalo. So, but this one here, I have to go Bengals, even though look, I don't care what your pass rush is. I've watched that kid get sacked 9 times in a game and win. So, the guy, he's just unflappable.
The Bengals are an exciting team. I'll give you that.
What's that?
The Bengals are an exciting team to watch. I'll give you that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I think Chase is getting more healthy. And then the Browns just got to do what you do against offenses that are good.
They got Joe Mixon back. The Bengals.
You got to keep them off the field. With Chubb and what's his name? You just got to keep them off the field.
Kareem Hunt.
And the Browns can do that. It's just at the end of the game they screw it up. they lose a lot of close games because at the end of the game they screw it up and then give up the last touchdown or do some kind of fumble or interception or something like that, and it just
kind of like the Raiders.
Yeah. So it's just unfortunate. So they could. I think the Browns could pull this, and we never know when and people can hate him, but we don't know when the Watson effect's going to finally take place. And there could be one game where he just runs for over 100 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
it becomes a factor. It hasn't happened yet. He's very rusty, and it might not happen this game. But we don't know when.
Don't think it's going to happen in this game, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know when it's going to happen. He is an X factor right now, as far as we don't know if he'll be good for the team or bad for the team.
Right.
The rest of the year.
Here's a good question: if Deshaun Watson tears it up next year, just lights it up, would they dare give him comeback player of the year or any kind of award?
They did for Mike Vick. Vick.
Absolutely.
They
did. Yes, they did.
Absolutely.
And you know what? What Michael Vick did, a lot of people think is worse than what Deshaun Watson did.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are animal lovers and they don't like that shit at all.
And Vick was in prison for a couple years.
He went to jail.
So
it wasn't girls. He said, she said stuff. It was, he did penitentiary time. Yeah.
And he's had to do dog conventions for the rest of his life, basically.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yep. But yeah, I got the Bengals in this one. I don't care how many times you hit Joe Burrow, unless you put him on a stretcher, he gonna be there in the end of the game.
Yeah, he's tough. Cast on his arm and his leg.
Yeah, right. He's out there. They're wheeling him out.
Right arm. It's still
on a dolly,
forward motion.
He looks like one of those. You ever played one of those vibrating friggin' football games? He looks like that quarterback. Somebody's pulling his arm back so he can shoot it forward.
Like a slingshot, like a big old rubber band, and sling his arm. That's what Joe Mixon will do. That'll be his job.
Freaking
crazy. One of the secrets to Brady's success has always been his platform in terms of when he's throwing the ball.
Yep.
His the way he sets up and plants his feet and keeps his shoulders up and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like Burrow has a very similar look to his passing style, and I think that's by design and it's been effective.
Yeah, it's been really effective. I mean, look. Joe Burrow, if you followed him in college, his first year at LSU in a run play action offense, he looked like shit.
Yeah.
He looked like complete garbage. And when they to Coach O's credit, Ogeron, he went out and got the offensive guys to run a scheme that he was comfortable with. And man, from the first game, it was on and popping with Joe Burrow and that spread offense. It was ridiculous. So
Joe Brady.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Well, the guy's name was Joe. His name was
Joe Brady. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. The offensive coordinator. Yeah. Okay, so this next one, the battle for Texas, boys and girls. You want to talk about a lopsided game that nobody needs to watch? Do we even need to discuss this game?
What people shouldn't have to watch, but
shouldn't have to watch. And this is the one that Houston will win, right?
It is a trap. Yeah, it is absolutely a trap game. It is just. This is Dallas looking on to the next. Who does Dallas play next week? Whoever that
I don't
team
even know. You'll have to look that up yourself. I'm in the middle of
covering
the scores.
I think Dallas is looking for them, and don't get 1-2.
Right. This is just a warm up for whoever they're playing next week, right?
Yeah.
Good Lord,
I don't
man.
see this going well for the Texans.
Oh no. They're going to get crushed
The Cowboys' offense has been on fire.
Yeah, it has. Dak Prescott
man.
looks like a man reborn, dude. I mean, it's pretty amazing what he's doing the last couple of weeks, dude.
Okay, so they're not looking to next week, that's for sure. They're playing Jaguars next week. And then they got Philly.
Well, I tell you what, they better pay attention to them Jaguars.
These next 2 weeks are just pure
trap games, right?
And then they play Philly in week 16. So that'll be the afternoon game around the country. And that's
you're talking about a ratings grabber.
Wow, Philly against
Cowboys.
Dallas.
Yeah, week 16. That'll probably be for the
rematch.
Right
there. Dude, if Dallas pulls that off, oh man.
Especially both teams.
The real question is, can Dak last that long?
That is the real question.
Can he make it to that game?
Yeah.
Or will it be a Cooper Rush game again?
Right. But you know what? I don't think they're hurt with either quarterback. I think they have a luxury there in their backup. He's proven he can win. You know.
Well, he could.
But he lost the last time against Philly.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. He did. Okay. Enough about this 0-0 game. Does anybody want to put their stuff on the chopping block for Houston?
You know, I'm not, but after about a month of neglecting it, I finally tallied up my number of wins and losses for this year for pick'ems.
Yes, sir.
I was a lot closer to 500 than I thought it was going to be. I'll tell you that. I was like 94 and 101, I think it was.
Okay.
There's 195 games have been played so far. 96 if you include the Thursday night game. So I thought I was like 20 to 30 under
I'll
par.
have to add mine up here in a little while. I haven't been able to add it up in the last couple of weeks.
But since I'm so close, I probably would have done Texas if I was desperate, but I'm not. I'm not desperate, so I picked that one. Yeah, I just thought you'd like to know that.
Double-digit losses? No.
Choose a different game to pick.
Yeah, not this one.
Yeah. I don't know if I did
pick the Jaguars against somebody, not this team. They're playing for the first overall pick.
No, I'm saying if I was further under par, I probably would have did the Texans just for the heck of it. But no, since I'm actually close to 500, my goal
this next one should be fun. This next one should be fun, and on paper, Minnesota should crush this team. But we all know how Detroit plays in its own building.
On paper, the Lions' offense is awesome.
Yeah, they are. They just can't stop anybody.
And they almost won against Vikings. It was
35-38, right?
it was a last drive that killed them in their first game. So, it's just their defense is awful.
Yeah.
That's what's holding them back.
I got to go Minnesota in this one. As much as I hate to say it.
Yeah,
Cousins is looking good.
I was considering the upset on this one.
And
I think the Lions could do it. I think they could. But
yeah, they can.
I think
but their defense has to show up, and you can't bank on that.
No,
okay? You just can't. Sorry.
Especially at the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Well, this game was a lot more intriguing before the Giants went on the current losing streak.
And tied a game.
Everybody has figured out. Just load the box and stop Barkley, and you've got the Giants.
Now, I did just see a message where Barkley is good to go.
Doesn't matter.
Play. But no, you're right. He is if he can't run, you have to rely on Daniel. Now, I think what they've been also talking about is the fact that they need to run Daniel Jones more, get him more involved as an option, so that they have to respect his run game. And
okay,
he can run a little bit. And one of the
yes,
things,
he can. He can run a little bit.
With Washington, he always just runs on them. They can never stop them.
Yeah.
For the most part. And once he starts using his legs a little bit more, I think.
Well, if the Eagles' defense has an Achilles heel, it's a run game. But I just got a feeling they're going to commit to stopping Barkley, and if you do that, dude, the rate of winning the game is going to go up exponentially. Because
so I think early on, I think that they need to do like a big pass early on.
Stretch the field
just a little bit on the
first
or second play.
And then run the ball. Yeah.
Try to get them open up and be like, hey, if you're going to be up there,
you do remember who their quarterback is, right?
Yeah, but still, at least it's not always the completion that matters. It's the taking the shot. so that you can say, "Hey, we're going to do this." If
Okay.
I think it sends a message. If you're going to load the box, we're going to throw it downfield.
Okay.
But I think you have to at least have that threat.
That's not Dan Marino against the 46 defense of the Bears, bro. Sorry.
Dan Marino didn't make every 80-yard pass in the world, so other quarterbacks did too.
Sir, when the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl in '85, and many consider one of the greatest defenses ever, on a Monday night, Dan Marino dealt them their only loss, and he sliced them up for 4 touchdowns and 350 yards.
Okay, I don't get what your point is here. I'm just talking
My
about.
point is,
I'm talking about
that's not Dan Marino back there for the Giants.
You don't have to
it's
be Dan
Daniel
Marino
fucking Jones not doing this. I'm sorry.
I've never mentioned at all slicing up a defense and slicing. I've said the first series early in the game, they just need to throw a long ball. That's all I said. I didn't say nothing about that he needs to come out like Dan Marino. That's not what I said.
They're not winning this game.
They need to keep him honest and throw a few long passes, not necessarily have to complete them. You say there's no value in them just being conservative.
There is no chance the Giants are going to win this game.
None. Chance. Wow.
No chance.
It's like Vince McMahon's intro music, right? You got
no chance in hell. That's right.
I don't know. I won't agree with that, especially with the home game and it's a divisional game. You don't rule out no chance at all.
Okay.
That I won't agree with.
I'm going to Eagles here.
Yeah,
and
I'm going Eagles too.
And by the way, Marino was putting up crazy numbers in the 80s when nobody else was.
Yeah, nobody else was. Yes.
How many Super Bowls did he win?
0.
Yeah.
Laces out, Dan.
Sorry, Ace Ventura. Damn it. Okay, next game. The Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one.
I can't remember if I went for the Steelers or not. But
what a pain in the ass the fucking Steelers are.
This is their chance because I don't think I think Lamar was doubtful to. I don't know if they officially
out
yet. He is. Yeah, is he out? And I like Huntley, but this is Pittsburgh's chance to mess with them.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going
and
Steelers.
Maybe get back into discussion. They're not.
I'm going Steelers too. Without Lamar Jackson, that team doesn't win. Sorry.
Well, and I've talked about it before. Lamar Jackson, great athlete. If you run him enough, just like Josh Allen.
Now here's the thing with that though. He did not get hurt on a run. He got hurt on a sack.
Yeah.
So there's literally nothing you could do about that as a quarterback.
No, you can't.
In this particular case, his injury had nothing to do with the fact that he runs the ball.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
just
law of averages.
He got blindsided and just destroyed by Denver's defense.
Are you saying he got smizzoked?
Yeah, he got smoked, and so that he didn't even take off to run. It was literally from his blind side, and he got smashed into the dirt by a defender. So, yeah, I agree what you're saying with the run thing, and that's what we're all seeing with Josh Allen. But he still continues to run headfirst into everything because he's a big dude, and that's what he just does. But in this case, he got hurt because of another reason. But yeah, your point still.
See, this is the thing, and. I can't. My preference is a pocket passing 6'4" statue like Tom Brady. That is my preference. Okay.
Yeah, old school.
That's what I'd rather have a guy that stares down the barrel and lets it fly. Like a Joe Burrow. Okay, that's the kind of guys I like. But
that's
when
the
it comes to these, what's that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
That's the kind of guy you're looking for?
That's the kind of guy I'm looking for. Like Nicki a Bledsoe. Anyway,
Matt got it.
But when it comes to the running quarterbacks, I think they need to learn their value to their team. And what I mean by that is take a look at a Josh Allen, how he's nicked up this time of the season, and then look at Russell Wilson when he was playing with the Seahawks. He was running the ball too.
Yeah.
But he wasn't trying to mow people down. He slid when people got close to him. He ran out of bounds. He avoided contact at every turn.
Well, to be fair, Russell Wilson is 5-0, and Josh Allen's a big bruiser. So there is a difference in physicality between them.
Okay.
Even Lamar Jackson.
I'll give you another one.
Same vein.
The guy that's slinging it for the Chiefs.
Yep.
He can do it too. And he doesn't take people on. He slides. And he's not 5'0". He's a big guy. And he can run. Like Josh Allen. But He doesn't take people on. He goes out of bounds. He slides. What I'm saying is they need to learn their value.
360 no scope with the pass.
I could understand Josh Allen trying to mow people down whenever it's third down and they're trying to get a first down, but he does it on first down. I mean, he constantly puts his body on the line, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
And Cam Newton both would have played longer.
That's what I'm saying. They need to learn their value to the team. They need to learn that,
Cam
hey,
Newton can't throw a ball. He needs 10 seconds.
Oh, he can throw a ball. He can throw it right through a wall. But
he can. It takes him 10 seconds to throw a ball, and then he just gets sacked and fumbled and loses in the Super Bowl.
You understand what I'm saying, though? They need to learn when it's situational football, when to put your body on the line and when not to. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And guys like Lamar and Josh Allen, they don't get it. You know, it's just I don't know how you teach them, and I'm sure the coaches are trying to tell them. You know what I mean? But some guys, I mean, you kind of got to admire Josh Allen trying to play like a linebacker from the quarterback position, but at the same time, you got to know your value to the team, man. Who's their backup?
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Okay. Yeah. I'm going with Pittsburgh in this game because Lamar Jackson's not playing. What do you guys think?
I think I went with the Steelers as well.
Steelers.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my sheet home with me, but I made my picks on Friday. But I'm pretty sure.
And we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had a couple wins here recently against the Tennessee Titans.
Divisional game too.
It's a divisional game, but I saw a stat the other day that kind of made me feel bad. Now they lost their general manager this week. Tennessee, he was fired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they saw how AJ Brown.
Yeah, went off on him. Yeah, and so they said, "Well,
you gave away that guy,
and the guy that let him go." Right?
You almost wonder if it was a snap decision.
Like, yeah, you know, damn it, get him out of here, get out of my face. I saw an interesting stat about Tennessee. They have beaten everybody with a losing record, and they have not won a game against a team with a winning record. That's not
Titans.
Good. Yeah, I'm going Titans too. I'm going Titans too, just because I think they're the better team. But you know, it's a divisional game, and the Jaguars are still learning. I mean, if they catch fire, watch out, man. You know,
Trevor Lawrence has been banged up. Zay Jones, the receiver's been banged up.
Etienne's been banged up too.
Yep.
I think he's fumbled a couple times too.
But I hate it I like the head coach in Tennessee. I love Vrabel. I loved him as a player. I think he's going to be a great coach in this league. It's just he's so hamstrung at the quarterback position. My God, that guy's a mental pygmy.
Well,
Good Lord.
Let's take a look at who they played. Where are they at?
Bear in mind, Tannehill was a receiver. You know,
so they lost to the Giants, the Bills, Kansas City, Bengals, and Philly.
Yeah, that's some pretty good teams.
I mean,
yeah, that's some pretty good teams.
They lost by 1 point against the Giants. That was week 1, and then they lost to Buffalo big time, 20-17 against the Chiefs, 20-16 against the Bengals, and then they got destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles, 35-10.
Yeah, they should win today.
But I can see that, but it's just they've lost against the best in the league.
Yes, they have.
It's not really the best stat. Still, it's not as bad as
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Losing to like the Chargers or teams that are like right there at the mid whatever. I don't know.
Right.
So,
gotcha.
Not the worst teams to lose to.
All right.
Because we all know when it actually matters.
we know he doesn't want to talk about this game, but it is happening today.
Yeah.
And much to his liking, they have flipped it from the night game to the afternoon game when probably nobody
I don't know how
it.
much of this game I'll actually see, but because I know they're not going to play it on Red Zone very often, except for when Kansas City's in the Red Zone 10 times.
Right.
But you know what's funny? I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game because your defense is world class, man. You may have the best defense in the league, but we'll never know it because they fail under the pressure of a bad offense. So, Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an article them talking about the Denver end of game struggles, or the defense end of game struggle. It's like, well, yeah, because they've just
you're going to get tired if you're on the
56
field
minutes.
that long. Yeah. I don't care how good you are.
How many
you're gonna
punts
melt
in a
under
row
the
did the offense do? Yeah. How many 3-and-outs? Yeah, that's why they're
you're
failing.
going to
At the
melt
end.
under the pressure of a bad offense. No doubt about it. Yeah.
It's so
Got to
sad.
play complimentary
They did
football.
it was. I wish I had saved it. They did a what if standings this last week of what had happened if the teams that had a single score flipped. If they had flipped that single score, and the Broncos 7-5.
Yeah.
Just because it was like 7-5, just because of flipping the script, and they would have been.
Now you've been watching them
in the wild card.
Is it Hackett's offense or is it Russ?
I think it's Russ in Hackett's offense.
In other words,
it's the scheme. Something is broken. Something just
kind of like what we were talking about with Joe Burrow.
Just
when he was in a running, play action rollout offense, he sucked. And I'm not kidding. If you saw him at LSU the first year he was there when he transferred, he sucked.
Yeah, there were some struggles.
Okay,
yep.
It was bad. But when they tailored the offense to him, you couldn't stop the guy. Couldn't stop him.
And I don't think Hatch is the guy to do that. He clearly has shown that he can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. So they need to bring someone in or an offensive coordinator.
So you think they blow it up this offseason and tailor high dollar quarterback?
We're gonna have to keep Wilson's staying. We have to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is $100 million dead cap if we cut him after this season. So it's not going to happen.
No.
So the coach has got to go. And because he's shown through 12 weeks that he doesn't know what the hell to do with Russell Wilson. He cannot make a game plan that works.
And there is a precedent for getting rid of a coach after 1 year. I know Arizona did it with I think Wilkes. There's been some.
Oh, there's plenty of
some one and done.
Even was it Tom Cable for the Raiders? He went 8-8. And they still cut him. Like it was their best season since like the Super Bowl. And they cut him still at 8-8.
They cut the Cable.
Yeah, they did.
They cut the Cable. There it is.
Yeah, there definitely is. But
one thing, since we're talking about that, I think the Raiders should fire Josh McDaniel. But from what I understand, with the new stadium and everything, they can't. They can't afford to pay him and get another coach. And so they're fucked. They are stuck with Josh McDaniels until he's done with his contract. And that sucks for Raiders fans, let me tell you.
or let's say for some reason they do let him go. The new offensive coordinator for the USC Trojans, Josh McDaniel. Just get all your favorite people together there.
Right? Yeah. Go ahead. Get them all together so we can crush you. God, why do you keep bringing up USC, man? Oh, God, I hate that team. I used to think I hated them. Till this frickin' Lincoln Riley crap. All right. So, our final thoughts on this one, we're all on board with the Chiefs, yeah?
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Okay. I hate it for you, man. I do. That sucks. The next one, Carolina at Seattle. Now, I know everybody's going to say Seattle right away. But I'm telling you, if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, this game makes you cringe. Because when they play Carolina, people get hurt. I fear for Geno Smith today. Okay? I just do. Because I remember the year after they lost to the New England Patriots, we had a game against Carolina and they knocked Russell Wilson out of the game. And I was like, what in the hell, man? These two teams do not like each other. Now, I don't know where this ranks in the conference rivalries, but when Cam Newton was at the height of his powers, he was going up against the Seahawks defense and getting knocked out of the playoffs on a regular basis. And they do not like each other at all, these two franchises. So
I think Geno was limited a little bit in practice this week with a throwing elbow or throwing shoulder deal.
Yeah.
So, that time of year where that kind of stuff
it shows up.
Happens.
The Panthers, who are they trotting out today? Is it Darnold or Walker?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing probably Darnold.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Seahawks because they're the home team. But
I'm going to take the Seahawks, but close. Like they're on their third or fourth running back now too.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You know,
that's what Metcalf's a little beat up as well.
It's kind of like when Marino left Miami, they've been struggling to find a quarterback since. Ever since Marshawn Lynch hung it up, we have been going through running backs like it's nobody's business. The best one we've had is Chris Carson, and he cannot stay on the field more than 3 games in a row.
Didn't he retire?
I think he
did. I think he had to. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's brittle. It's crazy, man. The guy was a truck, but a truck with a glass bumper, if you know what I'm saying. He just gets hurt every time he turns around. I'm going Seattle, but you're right. It's going to be close. What do you guys think?
No, I'm going Seattle. I think they can win this one comfortably.
Matt, you on Seattle too?
Yep, Seahawks. No. But like I said, I think it'll be close.
It's going to be an injury fest.
Says closer than the expert.
This is the game everybody should see this afternoon, nationally. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, representing the nobody wants to win this division, the NFC South.
Don't get me started on that game against the Saints. Gosh. Come on.
Come on, man. We got him by the balls. What are you doing?
Reel it in, Jarvis Landry.
Let him off the hook.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they are who we thought they were.
Dennis Green. Yep.
One of the greatest rants ever. Against San Francisco. Now, who's the trigger man for San Francisco? You guys were talking about that earlier.
Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant. Purdy. Brock Purdy. Yeah, I will get to see that game.
Out of Iowa State. Yes.
Wow.
22-year-old going against 23-year veteran Tom Brady.
But you know what? If anybody can coach him up, Shanahan can. He's a good coach. Shanahan's a good coach, and he knows what he's got, and he will tailor a game plan to at least make this guy effective enough to not kill him. You know what I mean? And with that defense, you know, Tampa's been struggling. There's something off with Tampa Bay. Mike Evans ain't right. He's been dropping balls. I don't know what's going on in Tampa. I really don't. It's like they've got all their players, but they're just, it's weird. It's weird to watch the team. Tampa should win this game. They should. But I don't know, man. I think I may make this my upset pick and take the San Francisco 49ers just because of their defense.
I don't consider this an upset pick for San Francisco.
Really?
They're clearly winning by their defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly winning because of their skills players and not because of their quarterback.
Is McCaffrey playing or is he hurt? I heard he might be hurt.
I haven't seen anything about him being out.
Okay. All right.
But even without him, like, I don't know. I think, you guys still got Devo saying you got a Nuke who has been pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And then it's really the defense. This is, you got the Denver Broncos defense with the mind of Shanahan that can make plays.
Yep.
Just enough to win. So when you have a dominant defense like that, who's playing at quarterback? Because what was it like? I saw a stat. What was it like? Garoppolo has the most wins without a touchdown.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like he has 10 wins to 2.
If the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers does not fuck it up, they'll win the game.
That's all they got to do. So, I don't consider this an – I'm going 49ers, and I don't consider this an upset if they win just because they're not winning because of Garoppolo. They're not losing because of him, but they're not winning because of him because, I think he's a factor. He's perfect for what they want as far as just don't screw up.
Just don't screw it up. Yeah.
That's what he's good at, not screwing up and doing some plays. Yeah, he definitely makes some
Could you imagine what this team would be like if Alex Smith was in his prime with this current roster?
Well,
they'd be unstoppable.
They showed it, but then he got hurt, and they went to the Super Bowl with Kaepernick. So that was the year that he was doing really well, and then he got hurt, and then displaced. But
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, imagine if the Broncos had Mahomes, but it's just you can play that game with anything.
No, but you're right. They would be. I mean, they would be. 11-1 right now.
Yeah, they'd be hard to stop, man. Because that's one thing, Alex Smith. You could say what you want about Alex Smith, man. He was not going to give the ball away. He's checked down Charlie. You know.
Yep.
What do you think, Matt? We going to make this San Francisco clean sweep, or
clean
you
sweep.
think Tampa's going to do it?
Clean sweep. Niners.
Okay.
Yep.
Kick ass.
Might not be a lot of points, but
yeah, it's going to be a close game.
And it comes down to a final drive with Tom Brady.
Here's the game of the day, guys. This is going to be fun to watch tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch tonight.
I hope it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I know it's going to be fun, and I know the Miami Dolphins are going to win. Yeah. And all I have to do is tell you who's going to lose it for the San Diego Chargers. It'll be their head coach.
This is definitely
because he's a fucking moron.
This is definitely a big game for the wild card. This could cement the Dolphins at least to clinch a spot.
Mm-hmm.
This will help them a lot towards
They're
that.
one game out of the lead in the conference. If Kansas City loses another one and the Bills lose another one, they're right there tied with them. It's going to be very interesting coming down the stretch, man. It's going to be very interesting coming down the stretch.
I got to go Chargers.
Yeah. Do what now?
Got to go Chargers here.
You're going to go Chargers in this one.
Yep.
Again,
I'm not a big fan of the analytics guy.
He's retarded, man.
Yeah. God, but I think they get it done.
All I can see is that picture I put on Facebook last year. There was a game. I can't remember who they played. It was the Chiefs. They were playing the Chiefs. And he passed on 3 field goals to go for it on 4th down in field goal range 3 times in that game. That's 9 points he walked away from, and they lost the game by 7.
Yep.
I was like, you were just I named him the Kansas City MVP.
Like I've talked about before, I like old man football, and old man football involves kicking field goals when you should kick field goals.
It involves not tempting the football gods. Okay. Yeah. Don't do that. It's the NFL. You take the points that are presented to you. You take them.
Yep.
I mean, it's just,
the NFL, not for long. If you keep making play calls
if you keep making decisions like that. And oh my God, the Chargers.
By the way, we do have our first playoff clinch, this weekend. Actually, we have several.
Right. Isn't it Minnesota?
So we have several.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think it's Minnesota. If they win, they're in.
I have them. It's just really
you're thinking clinching at least a berth in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hang on. Are you ready for me to put it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Go.
So first we have, let's see. Of course, the dog shoes right now to start barking.
It's all right, man. You're fine.
So on the NFC side, we have Philadelphia could clinch a berth with a win or a tie. So they just need to win.
Yeah.
Against the Giants. Or a San Francisco and Seattle loss.
Okay.
So that's for Philadelphia. They can clinch. And then, Minnesota can clinch the NFC North division with a win. They just have to win.
Yeah. Win and you're in.
And let's see. For AFC, it's just the Chiefs. And they can get it with a win and a Chargers loss against the Dolphins. So if they beat the Broncos today, they'll be watching tonight to see if they.
Well, the Chiefs are making the playoffs today then. Yeah. That's pretty simple. Yeah.
So three teams with playoff scenarios in week 14?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's 5 weeks to go. Actually, when the games are over with 4 weeks to go.
Yeah, about 4 weeks.
Yeah. So, yeah. Very interesting. But getting back to this one, boys and girls, I'm telling you, I don't see how San Diego's going to win this game. But if anybody can do it, it's Herbert. I do think, they talk about Trevor Lawrence being a generational talent. I think Herbert is. I think he's a generational talent. And, of course, we've talked about this before. I like the pocket passer, and he is him and Burrow are the best young pocket passers in the league. So, yeah. But Miami's offense is just off the fucking chain. If Tagovailoa's on his feet, they're going to win this game.
See, I think this is why the 49ers I don't consider it an upset. Look what they did to the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is so good, and the 49ers contained them.
Yep,
I think that's a testament to how good the 49ers. And that's why I think it's not a stretch to say that they could cover Brady, who's a stone and can't move anywhere.
Absolutely. Bosa's going to have a big game.
So I think,
line.
but yeah, I think the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins on this one. I'll never trust the Chargers. I know plenty of their history,
but apparently Matt does. Apparently Matt does.
I feel good about the Chargers. I don't know why. Just feel good about them this week.
They could, it depends. I don't know. Any given Sunday for sure. And
I like Herbert.
The Chargers win,
and my wife will probably beat the shit out of me for saying this. I'd love to see him win. I really like Herbert. If there's a player in the league that I watch these days, it's him. I love watching that guy play. But
I like seeing him lose.
Of course you do. You're a freaking Bronco fan. But anyway, okay. So we've got one guy that says the Chargers are going to pull it off. Okay. What is this? Go away. All right. And then Monday night, we've got the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. Which Arizona Cardinals team will show up, boys and girls? Which one?
I'm going with the good one. I think they're getting healthier, and they're playing at home. Mm-hmm. And this is a desperation game for any kind of shot at playoffs. This is it. This is their. If they lose this, they're out. Pretty much. I don't know. Statistically, they're out, but they're going to be out. We're getting close to the. I think if my Broncos lose, they're statistically out. At 9 and 10 losses, you're pretty much out.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a huge game for the Cardinals. It's a huge game for the Patriots, but I don't trust their offense. Their defense probably isn't bad. So I think if they win this, it'll be because of their defense. And they just have to get after Murray. If they do that, then Murray's a little baby, and he can't.
Now, what did you think?
He can't overcome a whole lot, except for the Raiders. But
what did you think of the footage we saw this week of Mac Jones hollering about throwing the football?
I saw different cases of that it wasn't necessarily the run throw. I think it was the short passes. But yeah, if they want any chance at all, they need to let him play. And they have. I don't get it with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like they just pulled Bill Belichick was like, yeah, come on back to New England. You're not going to get your old job. You're not going to be defensive coordinator, so we'll put you at offensive coordinator. It's the same.
That doesn't make any sense to me either.
It just doesn't make any sense what they're doing with their offense. Like they were like surprised that McDaniels finally left and they didn't know what to do, so they just brought one of their old chums back and just give him the job.
Yeah.
The offense is just there's no plan. What's the plan? What's the plan, Stan? Like
it's very strange what they're doing.
So I don't know. It's just I don't trust New England right now. Their defense is very solid. But their offense, you just can't trust it.
Well, defense is always solid with New England. I mean, that's Bill's bread and butter. I mean, a lot of people have argued that Parcells wouldn't have 2 Super Bowl championships if he hadn't been his defensive coordinator. So,
possibly,
that argument's been made several times. I don't trust Arizona's quarterback as far as I can throw that midget. And I'm a Sooner fan, and I just don't like Kyler Murray. I never have. Yep. I just think he's a mental pygmy. But I have to say, unless New England is going to come up with a different offensive game plan, Arizona should be able to put up 17, and that'll beat the Patriots. I mean, it's. I hate to say it. It's like watching the Broncos offense. They're not doing anything. It's just not happening.
But they happen to get a punt return for a touchdown at the end of a game. Them kind of breaks.
Yeah. Well, when you teach sound fundamentals, which they do in New England, you're going to get breaks in the third phase of the game. No doubt about it.
They had a special teams player that I always liked named Matthew Slater.
Yeah, they've always got one home run hitter that can get it done. So
I think he's Jackie Slater's son, the guy that played left tackle forever.
Yep.
In the NFL. Mm-hmm. I'll go Patriots here, but I don't have a lot of confidence in either one of these teams right now.
Yeah, I'm going home team because I just don't like the way I'm with Noc. I don't like the way they're playing. I just can't buy into it. I buy into their defense all day long. I'm right with Noc on this one. And it hurts me to say Arizona. It does. It hurts me badly.
And also, Mac Jones is only a second-year player, when you're in your first or second year, you gotta be careful about how much you rant and rave on the sidelines.
That's true,
because you still haven't quite earned that respect just yet.
You're not there yet. Yeah, you're not there yet. And they got a guy named Zappy that seems to do exactly what the coaches want when he gets out there.
He's like a Mike White.
He is. He's Mike White. He's just working, waiting to take your job. Yes.
The fans will chant for him.
He also makes a great potato chip. Zappy does. Yeah. That's
all right.
Louisiana
So that's week 14. And as we usually do, we're going to go ahead and look ahead to the Thursday night game, which will be played before we see you guys again. And this is a big one.
That's a huge one.
This is a huge game in my division. It's for, if you wanted to call it a heavyweight slugfest in the Western Division of the National Football Conference. This is it. The two teams at the top of it. I'm shocked to see this. I thought for sure my team would be at the bottom of the division this year, and they're actually vying for the division title. And I'm very happy for Geno Smith. I really am.
Constantly making the Broncos look stupid and getting a top 5 pick out of the deal. So
yeah,
it's good for them. It's like you keep winning and you're still going to have a top 5 pick because the Broncos are so awful. So it must be nice, so it's,
hey, now as we've talked about, San Francisco's defense is a beast, but weird shit happens when teams come to Seattle, man. It just does. That 12th man is a formidable one. For you can ask any. We still hold the record for the most false starts in a game. It was against the Giants. I think they had 11 false start penalties in that game. They set the record.
It's going to be interesting. The only way to quiet a crowd is to score a lot of points. And
that's
the
it.
49ers aren't going to score a lot of points.
No,
so the entire game, the crowd's going to be in it.
Yeah, they are, and it's going to be fun to watch. I may have to go to. My brother and I are on hiatus for the rest of the year, so my Thursday night's open. I may have to go to my local Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the Communist News Network for one night.
Man.
Wait. This is a prime game.
Yeah, it's a prime game.
Yes, this is a prime game. I forgot.
Watch it at home. Yep.
It's not ESPN. I can watch this in the comfort of my own home. I still might go watch it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I can't, funny
just
story.
To get loud.
I can't do Buffalo Wild Wings during a Broncos game anymore.
Why?
Because both times I've gone, they lost. One in particular was the Ravens and Broncos game where the Ravens won in overtime when Flacco had thrown that huge pass over our safety and they got a touchdown to get into overtime. That was one of the games I went to B-Dubs. And then the following year I went again and it was like week 3 or 4 and Peyton Manning threw 4 interceptions against the Falcons. So we'll never go to a Buffalo Wild Wings during a Broncos game again.
Okay.
So that's
all right. I'll take your advice. I'll stay home. I'll order Wingstop.
I'm just saying for a Broncos game, I'm just never going to go to B-Dubs again. I know that's stupid and superstitious, and that's how we football
fans
roll,
but true sports fans are superstitious.
Yep. However, when I went to
the
first time I went to, and I really love the feeling when you go to a Buffalo Wild Wings during a game, because I went during the Steelers and Green Bay game, so I didn't really have. This was when the Steelers beat the Broncos in 06. 06 they beat Jake the Snake Plummer, and they went and played Green Bay. No, I'm sorry, that was. I think it was a couple years later because they won that year. The Steelers did.
Well, have you seen Plummer lately? Not to get off a tangent, but have you seen Plummer lately?
No.
He's selling dope for a living, man. Mushrooms and shit. He looks like the biggest hippie that ever walked the planet, man.
But no, so I went to Buffalo and we watched the Green Bay and Steelers Super Bowl. I mean, a buddy of mine, and we went there. Of course, half the place is Steelers and half is Green Bay. And luckily, we sat next to this guy who was a Green Bay fan because we were rooting for Green Bay. Ever since that 06 game, I've always liked it when the Steelers lose because they beat the playoffs. That's how rivalry begin. And so I was rooting for Green Bay, and we found a guy that was sitting by himself at a table, and I was like, "Hey man, do you mind if we join you for this game?" And it was funny because he actually ended up turning out to be a extra in one of the Transformers movies.
Really?
He was one of the special ops guys. And the whole get up there, he showed us pictures, and like we said before the game, we were just talking him up, and he was showing us pictures of like Bumblebee and the car, and like him getting dressed in the makeup and everything like that. So, and then Green Bay won, so it was like one of the best nights ever. So it was, and being in that I've never been to a football game, but that's probably the closest I'll get to being like around a lot of people that are just cheering, and I'd never experienced that before, and it's always been a very fond memory of watching Green Bay and just high-fiving random people, and just like you just get
one of
into
these
it with
days and it only happened. It's only going to happen like once every 5-6 years. But when Denver plays Washington, you've got to go.
That's the one thing I never.
It's a lot of fun to see your team.
Yeah,
it is.
Washington Park, whatever they call it, I never want to go to it because I've just heard nothing but bad shit about that stadium. So if there was a game I'd go to, it'd probably be a Baltimore and Denver game.
Yeah, well, you've got several franchises close to you. You could go to a Philly game. You could go to a Baltimore game.
So
yeah,
I don't know, but I just it's not something I'd ever want to do alone. So it's just there's not a lot of football fans around me at the moment. So
you're fitting to be amidst the football fans when you get out on your own. You know that. So you're gonna be hanging with your guys from work a little bit more, and yeah. I know. What's your boy's name that usually watches the show?
Oh, Eric. Yeah. He's a Washington fan.
But anyway, my initial thoughts about that one, though, I'd have to give the edge to Seattle just because it's in Seattle. If it was in San Francisco, I'd say don't even show up, But we got a chance in Seattle. I'll take them. You know what I mean? But
I don't even know if I want to make a pick right now.
You don't need to make a pick right now. I'm just talking about an initial
look at
this
week and see who gets hurt.
Which one of the Niners is going to get hurt this week? Because they're down to the third string quarterback.
Which one of the Seahawks is going to get hurt?
Let's remember that.
You mentioned that the players against Carolina, they just get hurt. So
they do. So we could be the walking wounded going into that game.
I think I'm going to wait for sure.
I'll go Seahawks.
Yeah, I just say Seahawks
right
because
now,
they're playing in
because of
Seattle.
the 12th man and the Seahawks, the way they're playing, I probably pick the Seahawks, but just because of the 12th man, I would say.
For sure. Okay, boys and girls, that does it for week 14. Let's see, what do we got coming up, Noc? As far as your scouting report the next few weeks, what are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at who's in the portal. Who's going to sit the bowl games, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bowl games will start this week too, so we'll have some games to discuss.
Okay.
At least the good ones. I know there's going to be a lot of blowouts in some of these games, but at the very least, we'll have something to talk about, and then we'll see what news there are as far as transfer portal. I don't know how deep I'll dive into that kind of stuff, just because I don't know. I don't really understand the transfer portal all too much quite yet.
Well, maybe it's time to learn, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure going to learn it. But
now, what other leagues are we looking at too? You had mentioned the XFL.
Yeah, I did want to put something like. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Okay, because I know the USFL starts in spring.
Season 2, yep.
I think it's April. Yeah, I think so. And the XFL is supposed to start up this year too, right?
Yes. Let me.
Which I'm not sure how successful it'll do. And, normally The Rock doesn't get involved in something unless he's pretty confident it's going to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I have my doubt about there being enough viewers to support 2 spring leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to have ESPN and Disney. They're all the games are going to be played on either one of those. On their
really?
So it's going to be very easy to watch the games for sure.
Okay.
But there are a couple rules.
I got you up.
Okay, so tiered extra points are back.
Tiered extra points.
Yeah. So let's see if I can. Let's see. So some of these are kind of the same as USFL, but extra. Yeah, there's basically it's 2-yard line. You can go for it on a 2-yard line. You get a point. If you go for it on the 5-yard line, it's 2 points. If you go for it on the 10-yard line, it's 3 points. So just like the USFL, you could potentially get 9 points on a drive.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not exactly sure what this means. Defense awarded same number of points for a touchdown. I don't.
Maybe if they take it the other way.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it means.
Okay. Yeah. So
if you go for it from the 2 and say it's a fumble return or a interception, then they get 1 point.
Wow,
5-yard line, 2 points.
They get 3 points if they get. Wow, okay, that's interesting. No, that makes sense. But yeah, and then it looks like their play clock will be a 35 play clock.
Make the game go faster. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're really trying to. I think they're trying to shorten the game by anywhere from a half hour to an hour. Because I think
good luck with that.
Yeah, because their halftime's only going to be 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This clock will stop falling first downs after 2-minute warning of each half. So
really?
Yeah. So a little bit of a college rule there.
Yeah. That's I was fixing to say that's pretty cool, man. That means you're not hurt as much by losing those timeouts.
And this is a big one right here. This is kind of like soccer. Clock will start following incomplete passes and out of bound plays prior to the 2-minute warning. So the clock's constantly going to be going.
Good.
So
that'll make it. Yeah, there. That alone will make it go faster. Yeah.
This right here, teams will play. I've actually seen this in the European League of Football. Teams will begin 5 yards apart, kicking at the opponent's 35-yard line, and return team on their own 30-yard line. And they won't be able to move until the returner picks up the ball. So it's going to encourage them to return the ball more, and the return and kicking teams won't be running at 20 miles an hour at each other for the most part, except for the guy that catches the ball. So they're trying to encourage more kickoffs without injury.
I like the way they used to do it.
So I've seen it a few times. It definitely makes if your blocking is good, it definitely makes kick returns more exciting.
Yeah, but I like the scrum for the football, bro.
Yeah, they only did that once. That was literally the start of the series, and then they didn't do it anymore. But I know what you're talking about.
I like it.
This is what I'm hoping they bring to the NFL some year. Instead of doing an onside kick, now the USFL does a 4th and 12. But in the XFL, it'll be a
nobody used it, but yeah.
No, I don't think anyone used. I think one team used it, but it wasn't successful, something like that. Mm-hmm. But and then in the USFL, I didn't see a quarter limit. In the XFL, you can only use it in the 4th quarter.
Okay.
So so we'll see if anyone utilizes this. So I don't know if they will or not. They haven't yet. It's kind of hard to tell when these teams aren't even like the greatest offenses in the world anyways. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we'll ever see that. This was pretty fun. I did see a couple teams use this, the double forward pass.
What?
As long as you're behind the longest line of scrimmage, if you toss it on the flat or whatever like that, that guy
forward pass,
throw the ball.
And that guy can throw the ball.
And it's still behind the line of scrimmage.
Gotcha.
Everything has. So yeah, you normally see him pass behind them, and if
right.
It's a fumble.
Right. In the NFL, to do that, you have to throw it backwards. Yeah, it has to be a lateral.
Exactly. So this is a double, and I did see this a couple of times in the USFL. It was really cool because teams just aren't prepared for it. They're really not. When you throw it that first thing, especially if they don't know this rule and they're not used to it.
They're used to traditional football. They just zero in on the ball and haul ass.
They all zero in on the running back, and you just throw it behind them to the wide open tight end or wide receiver. So it's really. I think this is a really fun one.
One thing that drives me nuts is when they'll have the rules officials on these broadcasts, and they'll say it was not a forward pass. Therefore, it's. It's not, or the ball didn't go backward. Therefore, it's not a live ball. Mm-hmm. And these guys don't realize that if it goes lateral, that's live.
If it goes I don't know why straight they get that sideways, it's live. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why all these experts can't understand that simple concept.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anything else on that, Noc?
Yeah. So the overtime is going to be a shootout on the 5-yard line. 3 attempts per team, 2 points per score until a winner is decided. So there's not going to be any college rule, or there's not going to be an extra period. It's just going to be a shootout on the
kind of like hockey.
Yeah,
hockey does that.
And that pretty much just instant replay. There's going to be some stuff that everything's about. I think they only get one challenge per game.
Everything's about speeding up the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the XFL. That's coming like literally right after the NFL season. I think it's in February.
Football is going to be year-round here pretty soon.
It really is. So we'll hope in between those XFL and USFL that they really, one of them at least takes off, and because it'd be really nice if the football had a developmental league to pull from as far as players go. I think
once we reach that point, once we reach that point, after we're done with the Super Bowl and everything, if you want to keep going with this and cover that, we can do it here, or we can do it on your channel if you want to start building a channel. So, yeah, you'll have to make that decision after you move and get settled in, bro.
One thing I think would be interesting would be, do you ever think the XFL or USFL? I don't know what their age requirements are. If they would maybe lower that to be like a year younger than the NFL, maybe you have 2 years of college and you go play in those leagues.
That would be interesting.
More opportunities.
That would be interesting.
Make it like
I think
AA,
that would
AAA.
depend on the NCAA, because I think they have a requirement that you have to at least be like a junior or something like that, or at least 1 year in college, just like basketball.
The NCAA still can't stop an organization from taking a player if they want them.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
All right, boys and girls.
I'm sure there's some back alley deals they'll have to do.
Yeah, right. Well, just follow the money, boys. You'll find out which way
if Disney's willing to shell out, I'm sure they could.
That's it. I don't know. The way they're losing money, they may not want to shell out shit. All right, boys and girls, we are done with Week 14 in the NFL. Let me let you guys know what's going on with the channel. Of course, we're on hiatus on The Brothers Hack the Matrix and Sketching the Privateer, but I'm still doing Papa Joe Gamer After Dark. I've started a walkthrough of The Force Unleashed on PlayStation 3. If you've never seen that, it's a great story about Darth Vader's secret apprentice. Very cool stuff. We do this show every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and I go for 3 hours. I change games every hour. Have a few video games, cocktails, and fails, and I do that over on Twitch, guys, at 8 p.m. Central on Monday evening. And then Wednesdays, of course, last time, well, it wasn't last time. This is just a thumbnail from one of the shows we had where we reviewed Andor. Next week, we're going to be doing the second half of the Walking Dead series, seasons 7 through 11. And we're also going to talk about Wednesday. Did you finish watching it, Noc?
Sorry, I did. I binged. I watched the first 6 episodes on Friday night, and then I finished them yesterday. And great show.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
We're gonna
Jenna Ortega became an instant superstar.
Oh man, she's a babe. I dig her. She's awesome. Have you watched that, Matt? It's a good show.
Never have gotten into it, but it's at some point I'll get there.
If you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll enjoy that show. It's a gothic version of Harry Potter. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's a magical school.
I did have one thing I wanted to mention real quick, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So had some interesting news on the in college football. There's a guy that I played Dixie Youth baseball with, which is the equivalent of Little League in my area.
Mm-hmm.
We were teammates, I think 1 or 2 years, played against each other a couple other years. His name is Lance Taylor. Okay. He has been an assistant coach in the NFL in college for a number of years now. Earlier this week, he was named the head coach at Western Michigan, which is in the MAC.
Nice. Yeah, so I know that school. Yeah.
Yep. So kudos to a kid I grew up with, being a
hats off to Lance Taylor.
Yeah,
he's living my dream, man. That's kick ass. I've always wanted to coach football, man. I always have.
Do you still talk to him or keep up with them and stuff like that? Or?
I lost touch with him. His dad was a very good football player at Alabama, and he also played at Alabama. But his dad, whose name was James Taylor, not the singer, was really good back in the day with the during the Bryant era. Yep.
Oh, very cool, man.
I did just get reminded that I did read an article this last week of a group of FCS teams that are potentially going to bind together to become an FBS conference. So we might, in a few years here, be getting an 11th conference in the FBS.
Yep, with 10 teams.
Okay.
With 10 teams. So that'll be interesting.
But you know who will never join a conference? Notre fucking Dame.
They don't need to. They still get the TV deal. If you get the only reason you join a conference is for the TV deals.
I know it.
And then they what did they do, Matt? They a few years ago they somewhat joined during the COVID year. They joined
a couple years ago. They played an ACC schedule.
Yeah, ACC schedule.
Yeah, they played.
The thing.
That's garbage. You can't just have one
Can't pick and choose when you want to join a conference, guys. Sorry, doesn't work that way.
But they know, and they know the coaches love them, so that they'll always pick them high. So,
but yeah, we do state of the atmosphere, and who knows what we'll end up talking about. But we got The Walking Dead Wednesday on tap this Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Eastern, and these guys could be there. There's no telling who else will show up. I send this invite out to 22 of my friends that do YouTube, so there's no telling who will show up. And we just talk to the chat and see where it goes. And so be here for that. And of course, we'll be back next week with week 15 of the NFL on Pregame Party. And so for this week, we're out of here, guys. Anything you want to impart to the folks before we get?
No, I'm ready for these bowl games to start happening.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah. I myself am ready for next Thursday's game. Really, I'm ready to get past this week. I want to see the Niners.
No, I'm ready for this Thursday. Once it gets to this Thursday, we'll have, I think, pretty much a football game between college and NFL every day.
Pretty much every day. Yeah, all the way through the
what a wonderful
New Year's Eve. Yeah,
what a wonderful time.
Wonderful time to be a football fan for sure.
Yeah.
So, boys and girls, for me and my co-pilots, Noc and Small Time Republic, we want to tell you thank you for watching. And until we see you again, keep on keeping on. God bless.